Hey everyone, Scott Lesenby from driveandreview.com coming to you from a 2023 Chrysler Pacifica. Now, I like this. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would admit to liking a minivan, but here we are. This is completely unexpected. This is a rental car. I was not expecting to get into a minivan, but that's all they had, and I'm actually kind of glad they gave it to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have really known what I've been missing all these years. This thing is great. I mean, it's so practical. It's probably one of the most practical vehicles that I've ever driven. And anyway, so this is not going to be a typical review. If you're new to my channel, that's not typically what I do. I just basically, I like to go over the pros and the cons. You know, I like to talk about what it feels like to drive it and to live with it from scratch, from the beginning, having no prior experience. I think that's a little bit more fun, and if you're looking for a video that goes over all the little features and all the tech, this is not that video. There are plenty of other videos out there that you can watch, which will give that to you. But this is pros and cons only, so let's just get into it. So the first thing is that this thing is extremely easy to drive. It's kind of hard to put into words because I didn't expect a minivan to be so comfortable. I didn't expect it to perform so well. This thing does everything. I can see out of it perfectly, all directions, all around. It accelerates well. It's easy to park. It's smooth. It's great for road trips. It's just an amazing vehicle. And I think I get it now. I think I know why these things are just so darn popular. It just feels really good. Speaking of feeling really good, another pro that I quite like is the thick steering wheel. I mean, this thing feels, dare I say it, it feels sporty. And speaking of sporty, that's another pro. It's not fast. The 3.6 liter V6, I believe it's a 3.6. I'll put it right here on the screen, all the stats. It's enough. I mean, it's not fast. It's not going to rip your face off from a stoplight, but it's quick enough. It feels good. And if you're an adult being forced into purchasing a minivan and you're thinking that you're not going to get the performance you want, you're just not going to be able to get a car that just feels good and has enough power to put a smile on your face, you know, you don't really have to worry about the Pacifica, at least the 2023 with the 3.6 liter V6, because it's fast enough. It feels good. I will admit that I'm a little bit surprised by that, so that it definitely took me off guard. Something that I don't like, you know, this is kind of funny because I'm sitting here, I'm doing this video on the fly. I did no prior note-taking. I've just got all this stuff in my head from about 300 miles worth of driving over the span of 3 days. I'm trying to think of things that I don't like, and it's not easy. It's really not easy because I'm trying to think of this as a minivan, being a very practical vehicle. You know, it's not cool. It's not a sports car. I'm not going to knock it for not being those things. But, okay, the infotainment screen is a little slow. It's a little sluggish. Trying to connect to CarPlay, which it does have. I guess that's a pro. But trying to scroll through the menus and going through all the different things, it's a little bit sluggish. So that's not a good thing. It's another thing. Maybe gas mileage is not what I expected. And again, I have kind of a lead foot. I drive a little bit fast. So, I don't know, I guess I wasn't expecting the gas gauge to move down as quickly as it has been. So, another pro. This thing is just awesome for doing road trips and long drives. I'm out here on the Minnesota back roads on my way to Minneapolis, actually to the airport to return this thing, and it's just effortless. I mean, this thing is just so comfortable. You're sitting really high up. You can see everything. As I said, you can see everything in all directions, no problems. And it's so comfortable. You got the armrest here on the side, adjustable armrest here. It's just awesome. Another thing that I really like, there is so much storage space in this thing. everywhere you look, there's a cubby hole and a nook and a cranny to put your stuff. They thought of everything when designing the interior of this car. It would be absolutely perfect for a cross-country road trip. A con, maybe the seats aren't as supportive as I would like. As I said, I've done about 300 miles in this thing so far, and my lower back it started hurting really quick. Maybe after the first 30 minutes or so. They just don't really have a lot of support. So it's just a little bit lacking in that regard. Maybe another thing that I don't quite like is that the windows are very deeply tinted all the way around the back. Not here on the sides and the front, but in the back. It's a little bit hard to see out of at night, especially. Oh man, there's a deer on the side of the road. This is Minnesota for you. I've been living in the city for so long, so seeing stuff like that is just a little bit shocking, even though I grew up in the country. Let's see, brakes are pretty good. You know, it's expected, maybe even a little bit better than I expected. It'll come down from highway speeds really quick, and it'll get you stopped. No problems. It's not scary at all. That's a good thing. Speaking of other good things, again, this is just this is going to be mostly good things because I'm so surprised by this. But the storage room in the back for not only luggage but for people as well. The seating area is very spacious. This thing seats 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people very comfortably. There are 2 captain's chairs just behind me, and then a 3rd row, which is all bench. Really nice. I didn't sit back there. I haven't had a chance to sit back there yet, but I had some family back there yesterday. We went on it was about a 2-hour drive, and everyone was comfortable. They all have their own individual air conditioning controls back there. So not only can they control the direction of where the air is going, but they can actually turn on the air conditioning, control the temperature, turn on the heat if they want. So that's really cool. Something that I don't like, and again, I hate saying this because it's a minivan and, you know, what do you expect? But it's a bit floaty. It's not something you want to rent if you're going on a trip which involves really tight mountain or canyon driving, because it's so floaty that I think the people sitting in the back are going to get motion sickness quite easily. At least I know I would with the way this thing just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem very firmly planted. And I know it's a minivan, so you can't really fault it for that. Maybe another thing that I wasn't really expecting so much is that it's quite a step up into this thing. So when you're getting into it, you got to step really far up. It's like getting into a truck, which I didn't expect. But otherwise, mostly, I think the thing to take away from this entire video is that I'm surprised. I was not expecting to like a minivan so much, but I do. And I'll tell you what, if I was going to go on a long cross-country drive, a week-long journey, this would be the jam. This would be the move right here. Even if it was just me. This thing is, I hate to admit it, but I'm admitting it to the world on a video like this, but I like minivans, okay? I like minivans. I'm a 50-year-old guy, so I guess it's safe to say that, you know, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, if you have any specific questions or comments, do leave them down in the comment section below. There's so much I could say about this thing that I'm not saying in this video, but those were the highlights. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.